If this wasn't a good contract, I would still be worried that people would vote yes just to go back to work. But this is basically the moment we have. In 3 years with AI and the film and TV studios, who knows what the landscape is going to look like.
We've got a caller on the line. Let's bring them on the air from a 404 area code. Caller from a 404 area code. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Steve Ronco. I am from Atlanta. I'm the local 600 guy that emailed you about the IA contract.
Yeah, appreciate it. Steve from Atlanta with IATSE Local 600 over there. Yeah, talk to us about, you had some thoughts about the contract, the tentative agreement that IATSE has secured. So I'm, interested in your thoughts.
Well, it's a tentative agreement currently. Next week we have town halls and the ballots go out on July 14th, and then we get to vote on that. The Teamsters are actually still negotiating. The ASA, which is the mixed locals, we're trying to kind of align our contracts more so than before. So, a lot of our stuff is being based on SAG, like those rates and kind of things, which is more of an alignment, which is helpful against the AMPTP. This contract, there's not that many concessions compared to others, which, in contracts, a lot of times you hear about losses and not gains, and then the members complain. We did get a 7%, 4%, and 3.5% raises over the term of the contract. We are now getting benefit hours for travel days, which we didn't used to get. Triple time at 15, which some people have accused of them going, oh, now they're expecting a 15-hour day, and that's not what it means. It's to try and curb the long hours. We have a rides and rooms provision, which if you work long days, you can ask production to provide a hotel room or a ride home. That is now mandatory after 14 hours. Pension is getting higher rates now with all these new streaming, now that every like Netflix and Amazon, they're all adding ads, so they've added that residual from those ads to our benefits. So there's a lot of gains in this one. This is one of the first contracts that I've actually am not vehemently saying don't vote on. This is actually a pretty good contract, especially clawing back things that we've lost over the past couple decades.
Right.
So,
in the last contract negotiations, the contract did pass from IATSE. The membership voted in favor of ratification, but there was some amount of controversy. Somehow there was a portion that actually majority voted against it, but because of some provision, the contract was ratified anyway. You can correct any of that's wrong, but I'm curious, based on almost voting it down last time, do you feel like this one will pass or will have any trouble? And obviously with the caveat that you're not going to get to see the full contract language for a little while, and there could be some poison pills that you don't know about right now.
So in 2021, there's multiple bargaining units in the IA for this TV film, and the Hollywood 13, which is 6, 7, and 800, which are the 3 national locals, and then each craft in LA has their own grips, electrics, hair and makeup, costumers. So there's 12 locals, and we all vote on the Hollywood Basics. Then there's the area standards, which are the smaller locals around the country, like 479 that covers Georgia and Alabama, other than Mobile and Savannah, but there's other smaller ones around the country. and their contract is based on the basic, and there's a majors, so we all bargain around the same time. The Hollywood basic, where the controversy last time in 2021 came in, is we vote on an electoral college system. So we know how that works well in the presidential election. That's what happened in 2021. The popular vote was no, but due to the electoral college system, it passed. And so that's where the controversy came in.
Gotcha. Yeah, so it sounds like you're kind of anticipating, based on what you've been able to see now, that this one will probably pass.
With the 2 strikes last year, and there's a lot of people still not working. I know in Georgia, within 600, it's only about 20% of our members are working.
Oh, wow.
In 479, the report that I heard from them is 16 to 18%. I think, it's still every 3 years it slows down during negotiations because the AMPTP starts to get worried if we go on strike, so they don't want to stop in the middle of the shoot, like what happened last year with the WGA and SAG. And being that those strikes were so long, so many people just want to get back to work.
Right.
If this wasn't a good contract, I would still be worried that people would vote yes just to go back to work and say we'll come back in 3 years. But this is basically the moment we have, because in 3 years with AI and the consolidation of the film and TV studios, who knows what the landscape is going to look like.
Right.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
You mentioned that y'all were trying to align your contracts more, and the way that I understood that comment was that you were trying to align your contracts more with other, IATSE locals, and with locals who do, kind of associated work, like the Teamsters you were talking about, still negotiating their contract, and but it sounds like you were trying to align your contracts more with those locals. But has there been any talk about trying to align your contracts with the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA and, maybe even the DGA? You would hope that the DGA would be, amicable to something like that. But I think the DGA is kind of famously like the least, kind of union-oriented union in Hollywood. But it just seems like it just seems to me that the obvious thing would be SAG-AFTRA, WGA, and then all of the I think they're called below the line crew colloquially, would want to all be negotiating at the same time.
Yeah, but you're talking so many locals and all across the country, that came out when negotiations started. It's like, why aren't all our contracts aligned? And that's, above my pay grade.
Right.
It would be great. I'm not, when you have constitution and bylaws and leadership and egos and all that, it would take a lot to align those. I think with what's happening now and trying to get pay parity and just things closer to a homogenous across the line, of different locals, it's a start and a step in the right direction. Because so many people want things to happen overnight and they don't, just like a union contract. People hear when a company signs a card, that's just the beginning of the fight.
Right.
You look at Starbucks and some of these other new unions that, even though they've been recognized as unions, they still don't have their first contract. So, things don't move overnight. And part of an issue, especially in the entertainment, after taking a lot of classes during the strikes, is we don't work like typical unions that aren't in the IA. We find out, the way we work is different. So the amount of active members is a lot lower because we bounce from job to job and you may not see people again. So, that's one step of getting the members more organized and active into being political and paying attention and voting on contracts and officer elections.
Right. Well, Steve, appreciate the call, really do, and feel free to call in and keep us up to date on how things are going over there in the IA in Atlanta. Always interested. I think that Adam's an IATSE member, so of course he's interested and self-interestedly in what's going on in IATSE.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, well, the stagehands are a whole other thing. Even though we're all in the same union, their contracts are a different time and all that. So maybe I'll check in after we do the contract. The ballots are supposed to be in the 17th, and then the vote count. So
yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good, brother. Appreciate it.
And again, you brought up, we haven't even seen the full writing of the 2021 contract. Because of language and lawyers. So we've basically been working under the MOA since then. So who knows? Yeah.
Wow, that's bonkers. Okay, well.
Yeah. So, but again, I kind of like the way this contract is heading. Let's just see how much work actually comes back overall with the consolidation. But yeah, I will check in after the votes are back.
All right.
That sounds
Appreciate
great.
it.
Yeah, appreciate it. Good luck, man.
Yep.
And keep up the good work. I spread when you guys have clips that I think my friends would be interested in. I send it to them. So
awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I really
man.
appreciate that.
All right. Well, look forward to hearing from you again.
Okay. I'll see y'all in a few weeks.
All right.
Sounds good. Yeah, hopefully work will pick back up for folks. And yeah, I mean, it's been pretty positive, like the highlights I've seen, at least coming out of this TA. But, again, not sure what all the final product says, but it's, promising, I would say. It's not like we're hearing tons of talk about concessions and things like that. So that's,
the conversation was definitely a lot different. I mean, for multiple reasons, like he said, but the conversation was a lot different in 2021 during the negotiations. There was a lot of talk online about voting no, and ultimately a lot of people did vote no. But I haven't even seen any criticisms really of this contract go around or any reporting about angst among the membership. So we'll see.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.